Hello, it's Weekend Handicapper from weekendhandicapper.com. In this video, I'm going to provide picks and analysis for the 2020 Belmont Stakes at Belmont Park for June 20th, 2020. Before we do though, if you like these videos, if you want to learn how to bet on horses and just about horse racing in general and how to make money from horse racing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can get all the latest tips, tools, and resources to help you win money on thoroughbred horse racing. And also, I'll have a link in the description below if you want the full card picks, race by race, and exotic tickets. So those will be available too at weekendhandicapper.com. All right, let's get started. We're going to go one by one, each horse one by one, and at the very end, I'll give you my picks and analysis for the Belmont Stakes and how I think it's going to play out. Number one, Tap It to Win, trained by Mark Casse, ridden by John Velasquez. It's got a 2-race winning streak, so that's a good sign. It's moving up in class. Can it compete with this field? We'll see, but it could be coming into its own, you know. It's been working out well, so it's probably ready to race. It's just whether or not it can match up against this field. But I think it's got the right running style. 6-1 morning line. Right off the bat, we have a contender. Number two, Sol Volante. What's interesting about this horse, it just ran on June 10th. Man, coming back fairly soon. Just ran down at Gulfstream. It wasn't an easy win. So that's interesting. It's definitely it's got one of the biggest late kicks in this field. So it's certainly going to be closing in. Does it have enough pace to close in on? And did that race that it just ran on June 10th at Gulfstream Park take some out of it? So that's something to ponder as you're handicapping. It's 9-2 morning line, so maybe the price dictates that and it helps you answer those questions I was just considering. Number three, Max Player. Could be a player at 15-1. Joel Rosario, Linda Rice is won at today's distance of 1 1/8 miles. It's got a 2-race winning streak. Some of these, or many of these, do because, you know, these little prep races, the good horses usually take care of business, and then they get to this big race, such as a stakes race like the Belmont Stakes. So this horse has to improve to compete, but at these odds, a long shot could be worth a gamble. Number four, Modernist for Bill Mott. It's got good, consistent works. It's 15 the morning line as well. It's 2-0 at today's distance, so if you're looking for a distance specialist, this is certainly one. Wouldn't fault you if you bet this horse at 15-1. Certainly, especially underneath. You might want to include underneath. So that would be I wouldn't blame you for that one. Number five, Farmington Road. I like this horse in the Arkansas Derby. Made a good move as it was entering the stretch. I was feeling pretty good. I needed it to close in. It started going, then it stalled. It's like my boat. Like when I take my boat out sometimes, I'm ready to open it up on the open water, and then it just kind of idles there and floats and doesn't do much else. That's kind of what Farmington Road did. Will it do that again, or will it improve? I don't know. Should I give up on Farmington Road or give it another chance? I don't think it could win. Maybe underneath in exactas, trifectas, that sort of thing. Number six, 4 left. Something I say a lot. I'm left-handed and I play golf, so I don't like to, but I slice it. And so when a left-hander slices it, it goes left. So I yell out 4 left a lot. It's 30-1. Trained by Doug O'Neill, ridden by Jose Ortiz. Long shot, I'm going to look elsewhere. Number 7, speaking of long shots, number 7, Jungle Runner. 50-1. It's trained by Steve Asmussen, so we know he's a good trainer, but plenty of good trainers in this field. Not sure why this horse is in this race, other than the connections, maybe the owner's pure speculation, or just wanted to be in the Belmont and have a horse in the Belmont and see what happens. Can't blame anybody for that, but on paper, it doesn't look like it's going to factor in at all, the number 7 Jungle Runner. Number 8, Tis the Law. 6-5 morning line, heavy favorite. Should be the heavy favorites. Won 5 out of its 5 races. It's going to be tough to beat, which is why it's the morning line. Trained by Barkley Tag. Ridden by Manny Franco. It's got the right running style. It's won at Belmont. Won at today's distance. Hard to find too many flaws with this horse. It's been resting. Kind of felt bad for it that the Kentucky Derby got moved from May to September, because it was well on track to training or, prepping to be a factor in the Kentucky Derby. So, darn COVID-19. So, this is the morning line favorite. Should be your heavy favorite and the one to beat, just whether or not you're going to take a short price. Number 9, Dr. Post, 5-1. Another Todd Pletcher horse. Todd does well in this race. Irad Ortiz is the jockey. Certainly a contender. It's lightly raced, so with those lightly raced horses, you got to project whether or not it's going to continue to improve, or it's about where it's at, and probably just keep repeating the races that it's been doing. That's the danger with lightly raced horses. You got to speculate a lot. At the right odds, it's worth speculating. But probably a contender here. Number 10, Pneumatic. This is Steve Asmussen. Definitely has a contender. He's got the good running style, does this horse. So it should be a factor too. A lot of handicappers and horse players are projecting this horse to improve. So how am I going to bet the 2020 Belmont Stakes? Well, you always start with the favorite typically. Can you beat the favorite or can you not beat the favorite? Most races, if you can't beat the favorite, you skip the race. This is the Belmont Stakes, so if you want to have some money on the Belmont Stakes, and if you want to say that you had the Belmont winner, then usually you play no matter what. So if you play, Tis the Law is the one to beat, but it's 6-5 morning line. Whether or not you put a win bet on a 6-5 morning line horse is your prerogative. But at least maybe think about some exactas underneath, try to beef up your prices, which we'll talk about. But if I'm trying to beat the number 8 horse, Tis the Law, I think number 1, Tap It to Win, could be that horse. It's 6-1 morning line. I like that inside post. It's coming into the race well. Sure, it's stepping up in class, but it could keep improving. It's got good connections that I'm very confident in. And I'm confident in the horse at 6-1 especially. So that might be the horse to go with. Try to beat the number 8, Tis the Law. Now, you might want to consider playing some exactas too. And those exactas would include Tis the Law on top. So the number 1 and number 8 on top. And try to beef up those prices underneath. So you can have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I should include Farmington Road just in case. The 9 and the 10 underneath. Now that's a lot of horses underneath. Doesn't mean I'm going to bet all those horses underneath, because the payouts might not justify putting a wager on it, right? Especially if you got Tis the Law on top, the number 8, and you're including these other ones like number 9, that's pretty logical, or So Volante, number 2, it's pretty logical. It's probably not even going to be worth playing. So just because I list a lot of those underneath doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to play them, or you should consider playing them underneath. And another thing you'll notice, I didn't put Tis the Law underneath in second. Some people would say that's foolish. Well, if you leave a heavy favorite like that out of the top 2 win positions, you're taking a huge risk. But if a heavy favorite is left out of the top position or the second position, the payoffs are really good. And that's what we're trying to do, win some money. So if I don't want to get beat by Tis the Law, because that's fairly obvious, and if one of these long shots like the 3 or 4, let's say, are underneath at good prices, then I would feel foolish not having that pretty predictable combination. So it's all about the price. So again, maybe the exactas would be 1 8 over the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10. Look at your payouts and your probables. See what's paying pretty good out of those. If you want to put Tis the Law second, absolutely. I totally understand that. Just try to pick wisely and give you some good returns on your investment. So win bet on number 1, tap it to win. And I'm going to use those some of those exact as I just talked about. Have to see the probables first, what's offering value. All right, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. I would love to hear who you like in this unique Belmont Stakes, the first leg of the Triple Crown, not the third this year. Leave a comment below on who you like, how you see the race shaping out. And until next time, happy handicapping, smart wagering.